Akademiks can't ride no wave.
Y'all for still hanging in there. Oh shit. Oh, look at this. All right, so first and foremost, the guys who are accused of murdering Foolio, they have shown up to court, and the first thing they want to do is they want to have separate trials, okay? Now, I've told you the strategy behind having separate trials. Basically, you know, when people are trying to prove a conspiracy or a plot, you want to hopefully try to sever your trials to say, hey, you can't use what's proof against somebody else against me. When there's an idea of a conspiracy or something about a plot, murder for hire, racketeering, RICO, anything with, oh, y'all conspired to kill someone, it's beneficial that all y'all are co-defendants, that we could say, well, the reason why you got the rope is because he told you to get the rope and y'all had a meeting earlier in the day with all four of y'all, and then the other guy gave you the money to get the rope. So you need to include everybody because there's a plot to kill somebody and people take steps to do the killing. Part of conspiracy is a little bit of premeditation. Remember, when it comes to murder, murder could be 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. It could not be life. Usually what makes murder life is premeditation. You guys plotted this. You guys did this in cold blood. You guys are orchestrated, cold-blooded murderers. And this is why you want to like try to dismiss anything about premeditation. Oh, we didn't plan this. Oh, no, we didn't. We weren't here to do that. Hey, so why the girlfriends say, hey, we were just on a vacation. We weren't here for a murder. That's the whole thing. And one of the popular things is let's get separate trials and everybody be co-defendants. Because in co-defendants, they're going to link all of you guys together, leverage evidence against one person against the other. And the way to try to avoid it is try to ask for separate trials, because you're going to say their actions got nothing to do with me. Where do we see that at? We see that in Dirk's trial. You know, Dirk's co-defendants want separate trials, but it's not because they want to tell on Dirk. It's because they're trying to say, hey, y'all want to use the fact y'all charge us for murder for hire. Well, if y'all said that Dirk is the person who is the hirer, if we separate our case from him, how could you charge us for murder for hire if no one hired us? You get what I'm saying? Because our whole case is going to be, why didn't you charge a nigga who hired us? So the government always never want to sever cases, but severing cases helps the defendants. Now, when it comes to this Foolio situation, there are a couple people who are interested parties. So we have the girl, Alicia Andrews. She's already cooperating. Or sort of cooperating, but she did beat her manslaughter or beat her murder case. She got like manslaughter, like basically the judicial system seeing her as, you know, guilty of some stuff, but not complicit in the plot, which is important. It doesn't look like she did take the stand, but it doesn't look like she is completely cooperating, because she was just like, I didn't know. And people bought that. She has a nice, pretty, cute face, and she was like, I don't know. So cool. There's Alicia Andrews. Her boyfriend name is Chance, Isaiah Chance. Then we have Davion and I forgot the other guy. Davion Murphy and Rashad Murphy. And there's Sean Gathright. And what they all did was submit entrances for separate trials, hopefully to get their trials separated from the people who they were supposedly with or talking to that night. Listen to this.
Sean Gathright and Rashad Murphy, correct?
Yes, Judge.
And I did not, was there one filed by Davion Murphy, a separate one, or did you all just incorporate all of the other motions?
Judge, we would adopt the motion to sever, but
Okay.
I did not file a separate motion.
Okay, very good.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes.
Judge, would the court allow us to be heard, or do you think it's prudent for us to be heard just briefly on scheduling?
Sure. Yeah.
Judge, I truly appreciate Ms. Doherty's ability to corral
Yes.
all of these things and provide us with an anticipated schedule. There are just a couple of things that I wanted to bring to the court's attention for your consideration. And that is that there appear to be, in addition to the motions for severance today, some other motions that might have some anticipatory ability to be heard. And as it relates to number 5, which is the state's motion in limine for pretrial ruling regarding admissibility of evidence. It's set forth in Mr. Gathwright's style, but I think that it dovetails and it has application potentially to other defendants. And when I look at the additional schedule, the court is going to note that, again, pursuant to the schedule, Rashad Murphy, which would have been Friday morning, but now won't be Friday morning, number 10, is a motion in limine and a Daubert challenge, opinion testimony regarding gang war, hearsay-based gang intelligence, and uncharged and unsolved acts of violence. I believe that those two motions should be heard in conjunction with each other. I think it makes a whole lot of sense from a redundancy standpoint and a thoroughness standpoint. So I would be suggesting to the court that if we do get to other motions today, that it not be number 5, and that that either, unless the state has a particular objection or wants to be heard on it, that whenever we now get to when the next time frame will be after Friday for motion number 10, that we hear motion number 5 at that time. So that is my first observation or request. The second might be that, as the court is aware, my second phase counsel was not able to be here today, will not be able to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow, if everything goes as the schedule might anticipate, it appears that in the afternoon, there would be all of the state's penalty phase motions in limine, as well as all of the other second phase motions.
Right.
An abundance of them, although we all know that those normally don't take
Right.
hours and hours and hours worth of argument. But bringing it to the court's attention that Mr. Hernandez will not be here tomorrow, I can tell the court I'm certainly not prepared and not in a position with my other obligations to argue the Rashad Murphy penalty phase motions, and whether or not either Mr. Hernandez can do those separately at a time available to the court.
Well, I think we already set Tuesday.
Okay, and that's, again, presuming the schedule, flows, and obviously we don't have Friday as well. Also, the one thing I would ask the court, if tomorrow we do get to the state's motions in limine, that Mr. Hernandez be able to, although the motions might have already been heard, be able to add or argue as it relates to those motions in limine separately at the time set for Mr. Murphy's second phase motions.
Okay. Right. So I hear you. I think that makes sense as far as scheduling goes. So my plan is today to hear the motions to sever and at least begin to discuss the parameters of the gang evidence and how much of it is coming in, if any. And then what I was going to have you all do on Friday, since we don't have court, was get together and see if what you're in agreement on the penalty phase motion. So my experience with the penalty phase motions, oftentimes there's a fair amount of agreement between the state and the defense, and then that way we can really streamline what penalty phase motions really need to be litigated. Okay?
I'll pass that on to Mr. Hernandez, Judge.
Yes. So that would be as to all the defendants, just to get with the state and see what you all can agree upon, and then whatever cannot be agreed upon, I will hear Tuesday. All right? Okay. So, as I indicated, there are the 3 motions. Do you all have any preference in light of Mr. Sonardi's, even though he doesn't have a motion per se, apparently he's adopted yours, Mr. Gonzalez, correct?
That is correct, Ron.
Okay. So do you want to go first?
Judge, without objection from co-counsel, it probably would be appropriate for me to go first.
Any objection? Okay.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Very good. You may proceed.
Judge, what I anticipate doing this afternoon with the court's approval is I'm going to argue my motion for severance or in the alternative, and then I would ask the court to allow me to hear the state's response and arguments to the motion, then allowing me rebuttal.
Sure.
And so to that extent, Judge, essentially, we have filed, and certainly I think this motion dovetails with other co-defendants in many respects, a motion for severance. The state has listed as inextricably intertwined.
Jesus Christ. Nigga ugly as shit, huh?
Evidence that, in my mind, is neither directly or indirectly tied to Mr. Murphy. To the contrary, it seems that this is a documentary of a large amount of pre-act evidence that utilizes a lot of inference in order to be called purported evidentiary connections. Essentially, the state's introducing and linking co-defendants to prior bad acts in support of a group narrative theory.
All right, man. Tell them niggas rest in piss, man. I ain't got time for them niggas, man. Like, yo. Ain't no trials getting separated. All y'all niggas in the car. Y'all all co-defense. Fuck out of here. The next thing is, what's the next bullshit they trying to do? Let's suppress evidence. No, you stupid ass niggas. Like, there's certain evidence in the fucking thing. Rashad or whatever is Davion Murphy or whatever. Like, one of these stupid ass niggas after they were arrested, is not Davion, is Rashad Murphy. Basically, the judge basically, not a judge, the defense attorney basically said, yo, after we locked this nigga up and we brought him to the interrogation room, we walked out the room, the nigga was on some shit like, fuck. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're an idiot. You're going to jail. All right? Come on. Like, it's over, bro.
Waived his Miranda rights. Detective Dravick exploited it.
He already looked like he out of it, man. Look like, right? Detective Murphy, Julio. Let me see if I could get, essentially, the dude. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So, detective in Foolio's case, Detective Foolio interrogation. Like, basically, the detective testified, like, as soon as they walked out the room, the stupid ass nigga was, like, look.
Foolio, let's start from there.
All right, I ain't gonna lie, they were definitely trolls. So, I know what I'm talking about, right? He testified. Here we go. Now, it's testified one of them. It's one of the niggas is Andrews. I think it's this nigga. Nigga said he interviewed one of them. Let's put Detective Foolio. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Detective Foolio outside interrogation room. The nigga basically was like, they said, what'd you see?
Detective Remo.
And talk to Rashad.
Oh, here.
And when is it that she admits or upset? Also asked, she ever hear what of of back, there wouldn't be video footage and that.
I think this is a nigga though.
There was a question about, yes, she did say, I didn't talk to Rashad's girlfriend, and then my response to that was, how do you know?
No, it's Murphy. Man, why can't I find this shit? Y'all know what I'm talking about. He's basically like, is it Davion or Rashad? Ramos Davion. He basically admitted that this stupid ass nigga, when they
was allowed into the Airbnb, correct? Sorry, publishing
Prominently bring on in
yeah, I can't find it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Basically, he admitted, he was just like, yeah, when we went to interview the nigga, he basically, like, we left him alone. Is it this?
Able to observe the video that was linked to the room in live time, like in real time.
Look at this.
Yes.
And what, after you exited the interview room, did Davion do, if anything?
He does do something, and it may be more appropriate if I physically demonstrate it, if it's okay.
Okay.
He puts out his arms like this, and it appears that he's brandishing a rifle with one hand extended and one, what I would consider the trigger finger. He starts walking around the interview room after he gets out of his seat, and this is after Detective Nieder and I had left, and he's holding it like this in front of him, and then he starts going, "Boop, boop, 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 boop." And then he walks around.
Guilty, man. Fuck all that shit, man. We ain't got time for like, bro, we ain't got time for all this bullshit, bro. Guilty, my nigga. Like, stop playing, bro. Like, dog, you in the interrogation room, they step out for 2 seconds, you like, bloop, bloop, bloop. Like, stop it, bro. Like, guilty, bro. Like, we ain't got time for this, man.
Like, stop in live time, like in real time.
Yes.
And what, after you exited the interview room, did Davion do, if anything?
He does do something, and it may be more appropriate if I physically demonstrate it, if it's okay.
Okay.
He puts out his arms like this, and it appears that he's brandishing a rifle with one hand extended and one, what I would consider the trigger finger. He starts walking around the interview room after he gets out of his seat, and this is after Detective Nieder and I had left, and he's holding it like this in front of him, and then he starts going, "Boop, boop, 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 boop." And then he walks around, and then he does it again. And
Able to observe the video that was.
Man, enough is fucking enough, man. Okay.
Detective Ramos, you were at.
All right. So, pretty much that's like one of the things, and you know, they're trying to get the trials severed. No one's severing the trials. Y'all are all homies. It's clear that there's an established, you know, relationship, that y'all all came here together, and it feel like y'all all were involved in a crime. Y'all are co-defendants. That's it. Nobody gives a fuck. Fuck you and fuck what y'all got going on. Straight up. Okay? So that's, they're not going to get a separate trial, or they're going to sever their trials. You see with Dirk, like, to compare it to Dirk could be like, well, I didn't know they were doing that. I didn't tell nobody I was doing that. Yeah, of course, you know, I didn't fuck with Quando, but like, or I didn't fuck with Quando and Lil Pop, but like, I never, you know, nobody who like Vaughn didn't fuck with him. Didn't mean that I went to Los Angeles to kill him. I went there to do a podcast. So he has a reasonable expectation that maybe they could sever the trial. And also, like, Didi or whoever else has a reasonable expectation they might sever the trial. These motherfuckers, the only reason why y'all went to Tampa is because of one fucking reason. There's no other possible thing. There's nobody famous. Y'all not doing a podcast. Y'all went there to go kill the guy. That's it. Cool. So that kind of happened. That happened for sure. And let me see what else. Okay. So there's not going to be a severed trial. And then the next thing is suppressing evidence. Now, you want to hear what they're trying to suppress, chat? This is going to sound so fucking stupid. Like, these niggas are like nincompoops. Like, these guys are retarded, bro. Just listen to what they're trying to suppress. They're trying to suppress, like, them self-snitching on each other or saying shit.
He
They're like, oh, well,
He leveraged.
you know, didn't one guy say he wants an attorney? Why did you still keep questioning him? Completely fine and legit, and those things might get, like, you know, not admitted. But these guys are caught on fucking Tesla camera. It's not like those things are getting taken out. It's like them telling on themselves they're trying to get taken out, right?
That refusal.
Bro, look, this guy's off K2 or some shit.
And essentially he fostered trust in a subversive manner. I'm sure the state's going to suggest, and certainly the court has heard in the past, well, the government or police officers, detectives can use lies. They can use methods in order to seek a statement. But in this particular case, it rises to the level of egregiousness based on the prior indication, based on the differences and the way that Mr. Murphy perceived the advisements and the statements given to him by Detective Ramos versus the
what is this
the
thing
type of atmosphere that Detective Drabeck
That he did invoke for his right to request an
So the idea is that these stupid ass niggas go into the detective room. You know what they do? One of these fucktards actually they actually allow the cops to take mad pictures of their tattoos. They're explaining the tattoos. You know, the cops are trying to create like this pattern of, hey, y'all are in a gang and y'all gang is anti the gang that y'all wanted to kill the guy for. So like, you know, if you keep clicking in here, you'll notice this fucking retarded nigga. They bring him into the shit.
No,
okay?
187.
And this stupid ass nigga takes his shirt off and he's like, hey, I'll explain all the tattoos on my arm. Like, they're a fucking tattoo artist or like fucking trying to like see what it's a Picasso. No, dummy. They're trying to prove that you have tattoos that belong to a gang, and the gang that you belong to have incentive and a reason to go kill these people. And in Florida, when you do killings like that involve a gang and other motive, they could put you to death. So this stupid ass nigga stays here and doesn't refuse. He's telling them all type of shit.
Nice. What's 490? What's 490?
They're asking him, what does tattoo mean? He's just talking up at the storm. That's what they want to fucking suppress. You want to suppress a fucking idiot who basically tells the government all about his tattoos and gang affiliations, that when they're now trying to connect his murder that he supposedly did to some gang, you're like, oh, well, I mean, he shouldn't have said that. It's a fucking idiot.
There's no 90-minute time. What?
They take pictures of the shit.
Bags. Where's the free case bass tattoo at? Free case bass? Yeah. I don't know, fool. I don't know who is case bass. Oh man. Is that like a Celtic thing?
Nah, same something. I just remixed it in my own way. Be different.
Oh, okay.
Now, of course, in his opinion, he's trying to mix them, but
All correctly, I would have just
Traveling in tandem at some of these readers. License plate readers. Yeah.
now the idea of this, like, you know, suppression hearing is basically saying, hey, didn't they say they wanted a lawyer? Why did you keep talking to them? Right? Like, for example,
about the search warrant.
Yes.
And so you kind of used a fellow officer type of situation in this regard. You were working with Detective Carter as a fellow law enforcement officer from another jurisdiction, and you had made a determination that you wanted to search his phone, correct?
Yes, a co-affiant search warrant. I was working with Carter, correct.
Okay. And certainly Detective Carter wouldn't have had any information about any of the evidentiary backdrop or the probable cause for the search warrant. That would have been supplied by you.
So just to just kind of give you a little bit more detail. So essentially, these police officers are Jacksonville police officers, right? And essentially, they're saying that at first these guys weren't taken into custody in Tampa. Remember, the crime got committed in Tampa, but they were taken into custody in Jacksonville. So before they get to Jacksonville, because they got to get extradited, even technically, even though it's just, you know, within the same state, they get arrested in Jacksonville. Remember, Jacksonville doesn't have a murder case against them. It's Tampa. So supposedly they're talking to these guys and whatever, and they kind of say, hey, we don't want to talk, this and third, but they're kind of sweetening them up like, hey, listen, I don't know what Tampa got with y'all. Like, yo, shit, if we had some shit, we'd have told y'all, like, y'all ain't do nothing here. You don't got to be like mad, like, suspicious. Like, we don't got nothing against you. Like, hey, we have no case against you. And what's being suppressed, or the attempt at being suppressed, is it doesn't matter if y'all had a case against him. If y'all use anything against him after he says he doesn't want to talk, that's a problem. So supposedly they do things, take pictures, or they say things or ask questions as Jacksonville police when they're supposed to just lock him up and say, we're extraditing you, or we're going to put you in hold until you get extradited to Tampa. But of course, obviously they're trying to do their, do extra job and trying to figure out what's what. And that's what people are saying. Yo, y'all are doing too much.
Well, I wouldn't agree to that. We spoke about, I briefed her on what we had on the case at that point, and so she had some knowledge going into the interview of what was going on, and then obviously she's developing new information with her interview with Charmaine Steiger, so we're working together as a team.
So the part of it that she would have direct knowledge about would be what happened with that vehicle once it got to Gwinnett County.
Correct.
Essentially, the portion of the affidavit all the way up to that point, which is toward the end, would have been information you developed in the investigation prior to that.
Yes.
Okay, so, these guys in Jacksonville, they don't have the case. And they want all that suppressed so that Jacksonville detectives don't have anything to use or to give to the Tampa officials that they can use.
Okay. I want to take photographs of your tattoos, and he responded with facts for sure, and then undressed himself, giving consent to photograph his body.
Facts for sure. What does that mean?
So they're trying to say, hey, you shouldn't have took pictures of his tattoo at all. So apparently when a dude goes in there, he acts like, hey, I won't get no lawyer or nothing like that. And that alone eliminates anything lawful that the police officers could do, because he's asking for, legal representation. And they kind of like trying to like, make him feel comfortable by saying, yo, bro, we don't got nothing against you, bro. We don't have a fucking case, nothing like that. We're just trying to process you. And hopefully if it's nothing, because they're acting like they don't know what's going on, if it's nothing, you'll be out of here soon. Obviously, you're not going to be out of there. There's a murder warrant that's coming out of Tampa. But they're basically saying, because we don't have the fucking warrant or whatever, bro, just letting you know, you don't have to be claiming all this, oh, my rights shit, because we don't have anything against you. But they're trying to use shit against him. Hey, we got pictures of your tattoos. We asked you this question. And that's what is now being attempted to be suppressed, to say, because y'all were being sketchy with him, y'all can't use none of that, including pictures of tattoos. Now, the pictures of tattoos are going to go towards, this guy's in a gang. He has gang tattoos that shows that he's a rival of Foolio, whatever.
Facts for sure, it would be like a yes. And then with the fact that he took his jacket off, mean that he was allowing me to photograph him.
Oh, really?
Didn't he ask you before he started unzipping his jacket, don't you have these photographs from DOC? Did you already have these photographs? And you said, no, they didn't have them.
And I answered that our jail did not have photographs of his tattoos.
Okay. So at your direction, Mr. Murphy, Davion Murphy, begins to unzip his jacket.
No, ma'am.
Agreed?
I
No?
would not agree with you. I didn't tell him to take his jacket off.
Stop the cap!
Would you agree that he's in a confined interrogation room, right?
Correct.
With yourself and Detective Dreback, right?
That right there is Detective Matthew Jones. That's not Drebeck, but yes, ma'am. He was at one point.
Thank you for that correction. He's in a small space, right?
Yes,
With two
reasonable.
detectives.
Yes.
He's just been, and during that interview, would you agree with me that Mr. Murphy, Davion Murphy, indicates to you that he's been drinking and smoking marijuana really the entirety of that day?
I don't recall what he said his plans were that day, what he did that day.
All right, fair enough. would you agree?
Now, remember what I told y'all about pretrial? Pretrial is where you want to eliminate all the things. Like pretrial, you set the rules of engagement, right? So if it's allowed that they could say, well, we took these pictures of him and these pictures show him having these tattoos, they could bring on a tattoo expert that says, hey, listen, well, people that have these tattoos are aligned with this gang. And if they're aligned with this gang, their opposition is this other gang. And the prosecutor is then going to combine that person saying that to say, well, we could prove that these guys had motive because that was their opposition. So they want to throw out all of that, right? Like you shouldn't have took pictures of our client.
Agree with me that he really didn't have much of a choice, if that's what you're...
People keep saying retrial. No, so everybody's on trial when it comes to this case, except Alicia Andrews, who went to trial first, and she was convicted, but only of manslaughter, not actually murder. These other guys, so we have Davion and Rashad Andrews. They are considered shooters along with Sean Gathright, but Isaiah Chance, which is the boyfriend of Shorty, what's her name is again? Her name's Alicia Andrews. He's considered as well a part of the plot, which means he would be guilty and culpable of murder as well.
Indicating to the court is that he agreed or he consented to these photographs.
No, I wouldn't agree with you on that.
All right, so let's kind of play the remainder of this, okay?
Okay.
And I'm at 2:01:53 seconds.
Oh, okay. So
yes, ma'am.
So they take pictures of the guy, and now they're questioning the guy like, hey, did you get these by lawful means?
Davion Murphy had any tattoos below his waist?
That, like I said, we don't photograph in those areas. We only photograph the body.
So if the below his waist would have been photographed either by Jacksonville at the detention facility or in Tampa regarding potential gang affiliated tattoos, you don't.
So again, the first step, and if you're defending someone, even if he's guilty, you're defending him against, murder charges. Your thing is to try to make it seem like this person had no reason to kill him. So you got to think about the prosecution strategy. They're going to say, hey, these guys were ops. Isaiah Chance, he was in a group that was associated with people that wanted to kill Foolio. Foolio didn't like him or his group, and that's what you're going to do. And they're trying to kind of rip everything apart by saying, no, that's not true. No, we weren't rivals at all.
You wouldn't know.
His lower half would not be photographed by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
Now, remember, he's a Jacksonville detective, and then he would get he would go through the intake process and get photographed by the Jacksonville, that county intake process until he was extradited. Then he would get sent over to Tampa, and then Tampa detectives would be able to, have a go at him.
What if there was gang tattoos that were affiliated with the tattoos that you had taken?
That's not, our jail doesn't photograph below the waist. It's your body, your neck, your face, and your arms.
What if the individual did have any tattoos above the waist and had tattoos that were affiliated with the gang below?
No, I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer that because that's
okay.
Not what
So they're just keep trying to bring stuff up.
And because you did not attempt to or believe that Mr. Murphy consented to any photographing of below the waist or check with...
Okay, so they want these tattoos tossed out, right?
You with defendant Sean Gathwright's grandmother.
Correct.
And based on that information, did you
Now, this is this guy's lawyer right here. Remember this guy?
receive any information?
Yo, who's cutting these guys' hair? Like, he got a nice, decent hairline and shit like that. Like, yo, I feel like his hairline's better than mine. He locked up. What the fuck?
About any sort of other vehicle that was now at play in your investigation.
Yes.
What was that?
A gold Forerunner. I was told that Sean Gaithright arrived to his grandmother's house, swapped out things that were in the Black Impala, put them into a gold Forerunner, and left in that Ford.
They cut hair in jail as a job? Word?
Did you have any information as to where to set up in?
Okay.
Send you data. They went back at least as far as May 12th of 20.
Related or gang motivated crimes.
It's kind
For backups done during that period.
Is there any way for you to
ties to certain dates.
Okay.
in a way
I'm gonna
that
kind of
you
skip past
respond to
all of
the
this,
offensive
honestly. So, essentially, it's gonna be a fool's mission. They're trying to toss out all the, possible relevant evidence, but the ones that they can toss out are the ones that are irrefutable. They're trying to toss out evidence that proves that they're there because you know why? They can't toss out the evidence of them doing a crime because they're in fucking 4K. So if they're caught on a Tesla camera, they can't fuck with that. Their phones are triangulated to the area. They can't fuck with that. They're caught on a surveillance video for was it a home tour or was it the Holiday Inn? They can't fuck with that. What they want to say is that, hey, how do you know from the get-go it was us that even went down there? Which is so stupid because it's come on. Y'all were sloppy already. Y'all got an Airbnb. Y'all was supposed to all enter from the back door because y'all claimed that there was a camera in the front door by the doorbell. And over time, based on the girl probably acting up and her and her boyfriend, whatever, y'all ended up walking through the front door. So y'all are caught on the front door camera. But at first, y'all was keeping it clean. The point is that y'all didn't keep an anonymous trail, and this is why y'all gonna get prosecuted. So y'all trying to get this and that dismissed, but there's overwhelming evidence. It's one of those cases where there's so much evidence. You would actually have to be innocent to be found innocent. Now, here's the thing. Not because you're guilty means you're going to get life or whatever. I think there's still a lot of room to wiggle to be like, hey, listen, I'm going to take the strategy of, especially Isaiah Chance. His girl just took the strategy of, I'm not saying I wasn't there. I'm just saying I ain't know about no murder. And all the murder shit, I ain't had nothing to do with. There's 3 people that were the gunmen. One is supposedly the light-skinned nigga with the fucking haircut that I was telling you about. It's Isaiah Sean Gaithright. Oh no, he's somewhere right here. So these guys in court now, they're all the shooters.
That gets.
Oh, okay, I can't find it.
It is.
Fuck it.
Also mentioned that evidence is.
Okay, I can't find it, but this guy. So he's the youngest, and he's one of the shooters. Both of the guys who are Andrews, they're shooters too. The one who's not a shooter, but he's supposedly in with the plot, is Isaiah Chance, which is the boyfriend of Alicia Andrews. If I'm him, I would just be like, yo, they told me this was a free party. They told me we're going to get lit. They told me they were going to pay for shit. I was just rolling along. So you got to play innocent and dumb. And kind of in a way just snitch on the other guys, even though not really, but just by playing dumb to say, oh, no, all he told me, you make it their idea, not yours. Oh, no, he told me that, yo, it was going to be a lit party and that we're going to be doing X, Y, and Z. So I went with him and he told me bring my phone. He told me because the story goes they use Isaiah Chance's girlfriend, Alicia Andrews' phone. She doesn't know who's being called. He's not necessarily doing the talking on there. It's this Rashad Murphy nigga and Davion Murphy who's talking on his phone. All he got to do is act like he's a girl. Like, oh, I didn't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. They took my phone. I was just there because they said there was going to be mad liquor, mad bitches, and I wanted to impress my girl. So I got my girl with me. I gave them my phone, and I'm just a bystander. Cap. But, yeah, they'll be like, well, what about you going to You hopped out of the car and walked around the club like you were staking it out. Well, y'all believed her when she said she ain't know. I ain't know either. I was just walking with her because she said she wanted to party. She's yo, listen, I'm a young man. I got with a girl. She loves to party. I got to bring her to a club. Typical bullshit, chat. Typical bullshit. So we'll see. We will see. Chat, I am going to call it today. We're at 8 hours and 42 minutes. Holy shit. I know. Y'all wish I would go for 9. But tomorrow I got to go do another, hopefully like 7 hours. I'm going to do 7 tomorrow. So, chat, tomorrow I'll tell you what we're going to talk about. We're going to give an Iran update, and I'm going to do my Bill and Hillary Clinton deposition breakdown within the first hour or so. And we're going to get to David. There's a lot more stuff with that. There's some young boy drama. I actually thought y'all would care more about that, but I really don't give a fuck about what young boy got going on. So we'll kind of push that towards the end. And we got Drake and his album, his album popping up and coming out. That's what people care about. And there's a Dirk update, and we didn't get to Lil Pump and J. Cole or Sci-Hi Dissin or Shia LaBeouf, so we actually are behind a little bit. Also, there's this like supposed response from Aisha Diaz. I can't tell if it's real, so I'm glad I didn't get to it today because I want to confirm if it's real. But it's Aisha Diaz responding to Shad Moss, aka Bow Wow, and she kind of calls him out. But if it's not real, I don't want to talk about him. What else? Let me see. Oh, I wanted to. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure all the people who did donate, I do got y'all. Don't you worry. Here's my comments. And it says, what? Wait, what the fuck? How do I see my comments from YouTube? My super chats. I just seen it. Fuck. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I know how to get my super chats. Okay, here we go. Supers. Oh, okay, baby. All right. We did get, okay. Thank you guys for the super chats today. Wait, why is it so old? Am I reading the wrong thing? Oh, I'm fucking up. Sorry, Chad. If I go to community and they say I gotta just hit, it's not response status, it's filter from super chats. Oh, thank you. All right, LaDonna, thank you for the 5 from the Academy, or no, actually King Academics. She actually just says thanks, but okay, I appreciate you. I'm not sure if I'm seeing all of them here. And the Academy have a few coming in. I really am apologetic that I didn't read the super chat while I was there. Okay. Ariel Jenkins, thank you. Says, I can't chase, but my guy, I have to get the meet and greet. Yo, Ariel, hit me. I know you've been talking about this meet and greet. I love you, girl. I want to meet you. Okay. I want to meet you. I love you. Okay. And let me see.